Hello and welcome to Zasaa Zooms In. I'm talking to Rioke again today, and this time we're talking about friendship. Now, as you know, I have spoken about friendship with the Dream Team before, and when we did speak about it, we were like, we have only scratched the surface. So I thought I would address it again this time with Rioke. And Rioke Googled what friendship is. That's how deep we went, because she was like, let's even know what what friendship is. So we had a conversation about that. We also spoke about whether character and how much of how our character plays into friendship and that sort of stuff. This is what we had to say. Welcome back to Zaza Zooms In. Okay, Rioke. So today I wanted to talk about friendship. I've had a conversation about friendship before. Why did you say?
No, but I wanted to look at Google. What
Yeah, go on, look at Google. And it's so interesting you say this because I was at, that this is interesting. I was at a friend's house recently and we got into this conversation about friendship because one of the ladies there said she has 3 friends. And when we broke it down, we realized that she's taken friendship to like the literal who you can talk to, who, like right down to the core. Because I was like, you only have 3 friends, because friendship is such a broad thing.
It is.
What does it say? It says, the emotions or conduct of friends. But let's look at friend, not friendship. Okay. Because that's what we looked at that day.
Okay.
And she was like, no, they're not my friend. A person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. So not sexual and not family. So you have a bond. Don't read it again.
No. There's one thing I want to say is affection.
Affection, yes.
That's important.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure I have a lot of friends.
I know too.
And they're my friends, as in they're really my friends. So this is why I was struggling when this girl was saying, but that's not a friend, that's not a friend. Because I was challenging her actually. I was saying that, how do you make friends? Like, do your neighbors become your friends? Or do you just stick within like your little bubble of, these 5 people? So I understand that you have close friends, like your inner caucus. I get that. But I don't feel like those are your only friends.
That's true.
So what's friendship to you? Or who is a friend to you? Or how? I don't know what the question is, but anyway.
Is that word affection?
Yeah.
Fond. When I think about that person, I laugh.
Yeah.
I actually I laugh because somebody that person makes me happy.
So does that mean that a friend, someone that doesn't make you happy, is not a friend?
No.
Okay.
So those are the people that I have a relationship.
Yeah, relationship, that's right.
So it's not just, we don't have to talk all the time. People that I see all the time, we just talk just about business, or when we're having a meeting, we actually talk about different things. And then I can call that person, I hope you're okay.
So do you think that there has to be a level of depth in the relationship for it to be called a friendship? Because based on this conversation with this particular girl, what she was saying was, so in her mind, the people that are her friends are the people that she, I guess, tells everything to.
Yeah.
Now I feel like, and it's so funny because there were other people there joining in this conversation, and we're saying they're different layers.
Yeah.
And so that you have your friends that you're not going to tell everything to, but they're still, it doesn't take away from the fact that they're your friends. And I kept trying to come back to this affection thing because I feel like that's, and when I stop to think about the people that I have affection for, there are many.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason why I won't tell you is because I don't trust you.
Can you have a friend that you don't trust?
Oh yeah, because I know how you talk outside.
You see, this is so interesting.
I saw somebody yesterday.
Yeah.
I won't tell that person my problems because I've seen that person talk about other people. And there's some things I won't tell you because it's private. I don't want you to talk about it when you're having lunch and they're talking about me. I'm not a movie.
Sorry, I know a movie. Yeah, but you see, but that person is your friend still.
Yes, but there has a problem with this.
So you see, and it's so funny because this is another thing that I say to a friend of mine. I keep saying to her, you need to know who you've got.
Exactly.
So it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you can't be friends with them. But you know that this person talks too much.
Yes.
Or you know that this person, whatever it is that they do. And you can't, and I always get upset with my friends that now get angry with a friend just because they're being who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you know that this person talks too much and you now tell them stuff you shouldn't tell them and they go and tell somebody, you now get angry. But you know that that's how the person is. And so I'm always like, I don't feel, because I think sometimes, and in the case of this particular girl, her idea of friendship is that person that I can trust totally, that as in she brought friendship down to, I guess, the core elements of it. But I feel like she's missing out on so much more because she's limiting her friendship group to, of course, there are people you will tell certain things and there are people you won't tell certain things, and you're not going to tell everybody everything.
Right.
But your friends can't just be those, you know what I mean? Yeah, you have your inner caucus. But I just found it so interesting because she just couldn't get it. And so I challenged her because she's, okay, did I tell you about this situation? I have, she's younger than me. Not that much younger than me. But I said to her, so that means I'm not your friend? I challenged her and she was like, no, you're like my big sister. So for her, she put, she has like categories, I guess, of how people are. Now, funny enough, I was telling you about this, didn't I tell you that where I went for my friend's wedding and found out that my friend is her uncle. You know what I mean? Because my friend is much younger than me, and because I have friends across all ages. But for her, she like, but then she's not your friend. So it's almost like friendship is within my age group, which I completely disagree with. I feel like friendship is so much bigger and there's so much. Now it's funny, the last time I spoke about friendship, I was speaking to 3 of my friends. We call ourselves the Dream Team. And
sorry, that was funny. Sorry.
It's okay, you can laugh. Anyway, we are the Dream Team, okay?
All right.
Yeah, and I need you to just respect that.
I know, but I'm looking, basketball? No?
No.
Okay.
Just in life.
Okay, life.
But anyway, that's that.
We need to talk about. They say we need to.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
So anyway, the 4 of us were talking. 4 of us are friends from different, as in, and we have. So what we're talking about was we all have different friendship groups. So even though we're friends, I know that each of them have their friends, and it's a very big deal. I'm not friends with their friends necessarily or whatever. So we're just talking about that. But one of the things that we spoke about there, because for me, it's so, I have so, and I know you're exactly the same. I have so many male friends, and I cannot imagine my life without my male friends. And the idea that some woman out there does not have a male friend concerns me somewhat, because I just feel like they're missing. I mean, I even said on that particular thing that I feel like anybody that doesn't have a sisterhood friendship, they are missing out on it. There's so much that comes from the sisterhood, but also from male friendships. So you, who I know has a million male friendships, what do you get out of male friendships, and how is it possible for a woman to be friends with a man?
Okay, so the first thing is that I don't really like women. So that's the problem.
I said that, and they were shouting at me. I was like, I don't.
That's the
I
problem.
really don't like.
Really. Women talk about stuff that I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about fashion.
You know that you're going to cause such problems here, because there's now going to be a lot of backlash about women don't just talk about fashion. But I hear you. I get you.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. No, I think
we talk about makeup, hair, jewelry. I like
see her hair, no makeup, no jewelry.
Yeah. So I like her makeup. I like her jewelry. We'll talk about it, but we're not going to say, where did you get it? How much? Where? And then we could talk about for hours. No.
Yeah.
And
But does that just mean that you have met the wrong women?
yeah. And we talk about what's the word?
Gossip.
Yeah, and then they look at you like, oh, who are you? You know. I can be very free with men.
Yeah. Women are sizing you up.
Yes.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I mean, it's funny because I 100% am with you. Growing up, most of my friends were male. My closest friends were always male, you know, and I'm so comfortable with guys, and I don't even, you know, I don't actually look at it as, oh, he's a guy friend, he's a female friend. My friends are my friends.
Right.
But I know that especially after I got married, a lot of people would make comments about, well, you can't be his friend. You can't, you know, like at this point, I need to be severing my relationships with my male friends, and I'm like, no, they're my male friends, and my husband knows them, and you know what I mean. So I do think that obviously you need to be careful, and you have to have boundaries and whatnot. But I do think that with there's just less stress with guys. There's just not as much drama, and you know sometimes the drama is just like
I'm not calling you.
I always yeah, I'm fighting about, you know, I guess it's just the way that women were created, but I don't feel, and I always say this, I always say that, you know, I'm like a man, I think like a man. I don't know that I do, but in terms of all those things, I'm a lot more, I don't have time for all of that.
Yeah, I have a friend that always says, when I see him all the time, you're just a man, Sha. You just behave as if you're just a man. I'm thinking, what did I do? Because nothing, I mean, you're strong, you're still standing. I said, what should I do on the floor? You know?
I wonder how much of that is upbringing. Do you think any of that is upbringing, or do you think that's just character?
It's both, and what I've been hearing.
What do you mean what you've been hearing from people saying to
you? No.
Oh, from the Bible?
Yes.
Okay.
My songs and the sermons.
Okay.
It actually sticks in my brain that I can do anything that I can. You know when you go to church sometimes, yeah, and then they forget before.
Yeah, so you actually take it in.
I do.
And I think it's very typical that a lot of time we go to church and we sing songs, we're not even listening to the words of what we're singing. So I do think
so with that, of course, my background and it's my culture. Yeah, sorry, not my culture. You said something.
Upbringing.
Yeah, there was another what you said.
As a character. Character,
yeah. I've always been like that. But it's everything.
Yeah. So, friendship. So you think that, well, I know you do because I know that most of your friends are male anyway. So you think that male and female people can be friends. Okay, what do you think about female friendships?
I mean, it works. But we have to talk a lot. We have to talk plainly. So I'm talking to you now. I can say how I'm feeling.
And I won't slap you.
No. You wouldn't judge me.
So because you see,
is it because I've known you since maybe 11? No, more than that.
Most of our lives.
Yeah. Okay. Is that why?
No, I don't think so.
Exactly.
So is that character then again?
About me or you?
About me.
Yes.
Because you see, so then it's down to finding the right friends. That's really what it is then. So it's not so much male or female, it's just that finding the right friends.
Right. So if you get new friends, you have to make sure you have to test that friendship. So I just got a new friend maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to trust that person right now.
Yeah, obviously, yes. Yeah.
So it will take a while. So yes, I might say something. It depends on how you're going to respond or
React.
react
Yeah.
on what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to say yes, yes, yes all the time,
Yeah.
but how are you going to handle it?
Mm.
I have somebody, no matter what I will say, so what are we going to do? No matter what. So that means I can tell that person, I just killed somebody. The person is in my freezer. The person will say, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to just leave.
Mm.
I will say I'm coming. So that's why someone that I will trust and I will tell.
You see, so it's funny because I feel like, I think it's true of all relationships, that relationships need to be nurtured to grow. And you, like you said, you do have to, you go through different experiences and you learn things. Now, you said, obviously, we know that you had a health challenge, and during your health challenge, you lost some friends. Now, a lot of people, I have a friend who is going through a health challenge at the moment, and she's had the same situation. And some people have just disappeared. And you were saying to me, don't judge them because they can't handle it. You just, as in you just allow it to be. But does it not, doesn't that, I guess what I would say is, well, are they really friends if that's what they're doing? Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's one thing, and this is what I said to my friend. I said, it's one thing to not be able to handle it, as in to disappear, but send a message just saying, or explaining or something. Don't just disappear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, if you're really a friend, you can't handle it. You should be able to be honest enough with the person, even though the person is one going through. But to say to them that, look, I know you're going through. I'm sorry, I can't handle it. But forgive me or something.
Yeah,
I don't
do
know.
something. Yeah.
Something, not just
I agree.
miss. So I feel like because I know like when she's like, well, she hasn't heard from that person, this person has just when that person heard, and I think when you hear something like that, isn't that when you, as a friend, isn't that when you rally round in some manner? It doesn't mean physically being there, but somehow you rally round and they let the person know you're rallying round. Do you know what I mean? If it's prayer, if it's, I don't know.
If that person is very dear to me, are you okay? Did you hear?
Is this okay? This is you going through the situation,
and I'm not calling you.
Yeah.
And
no. So
I am going.
You're going through, and I am not calling you.
Yeah.
So what you will call me and say, "Are you okay?"
After a while, I will send you a text or something like, "Are you okay?" Is it because you didn't hear what's going on? And I did that.
Okay. And what was the response of the person?
Some people didn't know.
Okay.
It's not everybody.
So was it a positive response from all the people you reached out to, in that manner that you hadn't heard from, and then
some people didn't even call,
even after you sent the message?
I can't think about one person, but I'm sure.
Okay.
I do this all the time. I've done my own part, so I don't remember, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
So people will say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
There was someone, the whole challenge has been, I would say, 1, 2.
2 years.
1.
12.
Yeah.
12 years, okay.
So.
Oh, from beginning to yeah.
Yeah. So the last one, I called the person, I said, it's because you don't know. I didn't know.
Okay.
So I got that. Some people said I couldn't handle the situation at that time. Some people would just send it to money.
But I don't want to see you sharp or take. But I almost feel like whilst that is a little bit hurtful, I feel it's a positive.
Yes,
and
it is. At least they're trying to do something.
And they're showing that they're thinking of you. They just don't know how to do.
Think about it. You're thinking about your own self right now. You don't know. People are having their own wahala.
Yeah.
So you haven't called me. I'm not in your own house. I don't know what's going on with you. Don't assume.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even though I've seen pictures that you are in Cancun doesn't mean everything is okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%, 100%. And I think but you see, it comes back down to that. I guess it comes down to relationship. We were talking about relationship when I was saying that I was talking to a gentleman and someone was saying that, when you have relationship with someone, I think that is the foundation or whatever for you to be able to be. I should be able to be honest with you without it ending up in a fight.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes in female relationships, it's they take it the wrong way, or they just assume, because somebody said to me once about male and female relationships. They said when men compete in their relationships, they compete to get better. When women compete, they compete to pull the other one down. And I was like, wow. And I think they're right. As in, men, they're competitive, but it's almost like to better themselves. So yeah, I'm the better rider, but it's not really about whether the other person is worse or not. It's about the fact that I've built up. It's like it's a male thing. I don't know. But when women do it, it always seems to be like to pull down. And I feel like I say this, and then I feel like I shouldn't have said it, because I know I have a lot of female friendships that are not like that. That we actually do build ourselves up. So I guess I don't know if one can generalize on this thing.
So I read a book this year actually, and they told us that you should look at the book. Don't think about anybody. Look at yourself. Because sometimes all of these books, sometimes we'll say, oh yes, well this one that this is Funke. That's her right there.
Yes.
And you're watching.
You identify all the people.
You're not thinking about yourself. So think about you all the time. So don't just think about the other person. Do I do the same thing? No. Think about it now.
Well, you see, I always say you cannot change anybody but yourself.
Yes, that's it.
So, and I always feel like God always gives you opportunity. So whenever something happens and it's negative, or maybe not negative, but upsets me, whatever, I always look at it from the point of view of, okay, what do I need to learn here? How could I have acted differently? Exactly. There was a situation I had with a friend of mine. Oh my God, situation, I couldn't believe it. Male friend, been my friend for years, and I did something, and the thing that I did. Okay, so I think I have to see what I did. So I put something on a WhatsApp chat group, and immediately he sent me a message to say, why did you do that when you knew that the person concerned, because it was about somebody else, specifically asked you not to do that? So I was horrified, because I was like, I was angry, because I was like, why? The fact that you think that I would go ahead and do something that somebody has specifically asked me to do, I had a problem with that. I'm like, but you are my friend. You should know better than, and in fact, you should even call me and say, oh, did you do that by mistake? Or did you know he didn't want it? Or did you know what I mean? As opposed to just say, why would you do that when you know he didn't want it?
Got it.
So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I panicked. So I called the guy concerned and I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you didn't want it. See, I've just put my, I told you this top is a problem. It's been sitting in my tea. I'll just leave it there till we're done. I was about to raise my hand. I was like, why is he heavy? So anyway, so he was like, so I called the guy concerned and I apologized. I was like, so I quickly took the thing off the chat group and I apologized, and I was like, and I said to him, I said, I'll be honest with you, I'm actually a little bit peeved with both of you for thinking that I would do that when you had specifically asked me not to. But it was a miscommunication, blah, 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 something like that. But I couldn't, because I just was, you are my friend, you've been my friend for forever. If I did this thing,
you would call me, babe. Did you make a mistake?
Yeah, because you should know that I wouldn't do something, right. So I had a right go at him, as if we really went at it. I mean, he could, but he was like, no, but you should have. I was like, no, you should have, called me and said, was it an error or whatever. So I think there's that. So there were expectations.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, we've been friends for 30 odd years.
Yeah.
If I did that, even if I did that, you must know that something is wrong for me to do that. Yeah. Unless you're saying you don't know me or we weren't really friends. Right. You know? So it's that sort of thing but I could have that thing. Now I feel like we had it out, we finished, and then what I did, was after because he was yelling down the phone. So I just said to myself, look, we're clearly not communicating. I'm going to drop the phone because I didn't want to drop the phone. They'll now say you dropped the phone on me. So I dropped the phone and I said, we're clearly not. And as soon as I dropped the phone, I was just like, Lord, what could I have done differently? How could I, So I sent him a message and I said, look, I'm sorry that I didn't, but that's, if I offended you, I just didn't understand. So I kind of explained myself and said sorry and I left it at that because I was like, I can't change him. There's nothing I can do. I've explained. He's not getting it. He's upset with me. But let me apologize because I know, you know what I mean? Because for me, I'm like, how can I make this right? In the end, I have to look at myself. Did I react? I don't even know that I reacted. I was very calm when I spoke to both of them, but I was just like, I can't believe that you actually thought I would do this.
Even that statement says a lot.
Which one?
I can't believe.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So it's expectation because I'm expecting
that's
because of where we've come from or where we've been or whatever, you should know better than this or you should know me better than that. But are we even allowed to have those type of I think you are.
Of course you can. You can, but it's just how to say I can't believe and leave it there. But the problem is the person that you're talking to, how
they take it, how they receive it. Yeah, he didn't receive it well at all.
And that's the problem.
He was very like, but you should, it was very, but I think it really, when we skimmed it down to the bottom, it was misunderstanding, communication, etc., which could easily, we didn't necessarily need to have that flare up. But when I saw him, I did see him, when did I see him? Maybe a week after that. And he came up to me and he said, are we good? Yeah. And I was like, we were always good. Yeah. And that was it. Done. Yeah. So I think sometimes you do have these things in but it's how you handle, it's how you react. Yeah. Whether, because that could have broken a friendship. I mean, really, like I said to him, I said to myself, really, at this point, I should just not be your friend again. The fact that you even made that, you know what I mean? I really had no business being your friend. But of course, I mean, that's just me being dramatic. Yeah. It's not really, And then when I did speak to him, because we did speak about it later, I realized that it was the day he was having. So I was just like collateral damage because he was having such a bad day that what I had done just came at the wrong time and he reacted. And then, so everything he was doing, so everything he was doing. But if I had now taken offense, gone with this thing, the relationship would have ended right there because somebody had a bad day. And we have bad days. People have bad days. I mean, I still feel like when you have a bad day, you should control yourself, sharp, but I get it. People have bad days, and you have to have grace to allow people to have a bad day. Or you know what I mean? And
but you have to have that conversation with that person again.
Yes, which I did because I think I was just so baffled by the whole thing. For me, it was just so shocking, and I was like, and funnily enough, I've never had any issues with this guy before. So to go from nothing in 30-something years to this like complete, I was like, I hope everything is okay at home. I was like, there must be. But, because it was just so out of character as well. So I guess that also helped because I knew that this is not normal. Yeah. Well,
and that's good when you have. It's been a long time. So what's going on? Okay, then I'll say, okay, what's going on? Yeah. Because this is not you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking about somebody right now. Normally we always talk about what's going on. Yes, actually I'm having something. But if you don't have that conversation,
then you don't know. And I think humanity is such that I always say this thing. I think it was Brené Brown that I first read it from. That the story you tell yourself, if you don't have the facts, if you don't have the conversation, you start telling yourself a story. So for example, now I call you and you don't pick up, and I call you again and you don't pick up. By the time I call you and you don't pick up, I'm like, well, she's obviously ignoring my call. I now start to tell myself stories because I haven't had the conversation with you. Now, probably you were in hospital the first time, the second time you were in a meeting, maybe your husband had your phone because you're in hospital, so you didn't even see my missed calls to call me back or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So you might have valid reasons, but I have just seen that I've called you 3 times. You haven't called me back, you haven't messaged me back, you haven't, whatever. And so I'm like, obviously, she's angry with me. She's fighting. You know what I mean? I start to tell myself my own story. Yeah. And so I can't remember what book it was I was reading. It was one of Brave Bad, but I was saying that that's why you have to communicate. Yeah. So that you can say the story. And she always used to say, the story I'm telling myself, Rioke, is that you don't want to be my friend anymore because you haven't answered 3 of my calls. Do you understand? So I tell you the story I'm telling myself, so you can be like, oh, don't be ridiculous. I didn't answer your calls because, you know what I mean? Like, you know. So I always think about that. Okay, what story are you telling yourself? Don't tell yourself any stories. Find out the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to, and society does that. You know, you now be like, well, maybe she has a new friend.
Yeah.
Maybe she is because I don't have that car. Or whatever it is that society is telling you to
It's your hair.
It's your hair. It is your long locks that are getting everywhere. Yeah, my long locks have been getting. It's lucky that they didn't fall into the tea. They've been getting everywhere. I insisted when I had them done that I must be able to sit on them, and now I'm thinking that was not such a great idea. But hey, there you go. Okay. Anything else you want to say about friendship? I think you see, the thing with friendship, and this was the same thing that happened when I had the last conversation, it's endless. There's so many layers to it, so many places you can go with it. And
But I need friends.
I think we all do.
I do.
I think we all do. And this is why I was saying that. In fact, I was saying if you don't have, like you, male friends were my thing. In fact, it's Christianity that forced me to have proper female friends. You know what I mean? Like, okay, the sister, you know what I mean? Because really, like you said, there was just too much, and I was like, I don't have time for all of this. But having had the sister friends, there's something that a sisterhood has.
Definitely.
That no man can.
Definitely.
So I always feel like you need to have your sisterhood. I feel you have to have your male friends too. That's my opinion. But you need to have your sisterhood, and there are things that's just amazing things. The way we can support each other, the way sisters get together, and, it's completely different. We're just created differently. So I think you need to have your female friendship. We think friendship is really important. You can be friends. Male and female can be friends. Platonic relationships are possible. We think that they're important. Not everybody will agree with us, but we think they're important because we both know what we've got out of our male friendships. And what else?
Thank you for loving us.
Thank you for loving us. This is the problem when you bring your friends on the show. I need to be bringing. I don't want to call it a show. This is the problem when you bring your friends onto your thing. They come with. Yes, but I know what I've got, so I have
a lot.
So I have no issues with it. I'm like, okay, this is who she is. Alrighty, ho. Okay, later. Peace. So there you have it. We spoke about friendship. We spoke about character. We spoke about expectations. We spoke about the story that you tell yourself. Yeah, so what does friendship mean to you? Let us know. God bless you.